Hey folks, Pat here from DNS, and this Madison area fishing report is current as of Friday, November 7th. Well, happy Friday, everybody. We made it through another week, and I hope you all had a good Halloween weekend. We have a bunch of stuff to talk about as usual, so we'll just get right into it. The Root River report has the cohos vastly outpacing the kings now. The kings are kind of tapering off according to the text here, and which is typical this time of year, but the cohos should remain in the tributaries for the remainder of November, really. And then, of course, you got brown trout and steelhead that are moving in there too. So great time of year to fish over there. I'll touch more on that at the end of the report for my Happy Fly Day feature, but always like to check in there at the start of these reports. Otherwise, as far as shop news goes, I posted this earlier this week. We are going to be closed November 15th to the 28th. This is something we do every fall. It's just really, really slow here once you get into the heat of deer season, and then you got Thanksgiving and stuff like that. So it's a good time for us to get away and enjoy some time in the woods ourselves, spend time with family, and of course, do some fishing. So we will be back open on November 29th. That's Small Business Saturday. And yeah, just want to wish all the hunters and anglers out there good luck, and I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. But I'll repeat this this week and then again on my report next week, which I will be taking a break from as well. While we're on break there. So anyway, we have muskie suckers. Great time of year to be out putting a sucker off the side of the boat, fishing for muskies. Oh, and update on the chub situation. I do still have some chubs, but again, we're not going to be able to get chubs until probably ice at the earliest. Speaking of ice, we're getting our ice fishing stuff out on the shelves here. Put some more stuff up this week. But again, we got the Beaver Dams out here. We got a couple limited edition ones. This is the new Honey Hole tip up, and then we got this Santa Claus one, which is a limited special edition one that only shops that deal with the wholesaler that I deal with, Pittman Creek, have. So these are also super cool. Oh, and again, we have the raffle. We're giving away one of Kevin's custom ice rods, all the proceeds to benefit Josie's Gift, which is a group of folks that build custom fishing rods and give them to kids that have cancer. So, of course, it's a great cause. And, of course, Kevin's rods, everybody knows that ice fishes are awesome. I mean, I own 4 of them myself. So, yeah, they're great. He did a really nice job, put some little extra touches on this rod. It's a really special deal here. And to sweeten the deal, we had Uncle Kurt come in and he said, hey, I'd like to help out this cause too. So he donated, I think there's 28 flies here of his very sought after, very effective tungsten ice flies. Comes with a box here. Just the box is worth $30. And then the flies, what's that, another $80 worth of flies or something? So yeah, it's a great addition. We want to thank Uncle Kurt for sweetening the deal here. So yeah, swing in the shop. Get $5. Throw a ticket in the hat there, and yeah, benefit a good cause all at the same time. Maybe you'll win an awesome prize package. Yeah, and the other stuff we got out still is these racks for the sleds. We of course have sleds, but then we got these racks which are new to the shop, super handy deal there. We got salmon eggs for fishing salmon, steelhead floats, all that stuff. Egg sucking leeches, egg patterns, nymphs, and of course spinners, spoons, and all that stuff to get you out on the water. It really is a lot of fun. If you've never done it, go check it out. It's really cool fishing on the tributaries over there. Winter is coming, and we kind of get this downtime here, where maybe it's too chilly to fish, but there's no ice yet. So why not take up fly tying? It's a great way to pass the time and be productive, and it's really rewarding catching fish on something that you tied. Of course, we got a ton of supplies here to get you pointed in the right direction, and are super happy to help out a beginner to get them started. So as far as announcements on the door goes, we got Jam for Cans this weekend. That's a event that benefits food pantries, brings some canned goods to the Cottage Grove Road VFW. And they got a bunch of bands. I think they're mostly country bands playing there, but it's a great event. We're happy to help support that. We donated a rod and reel combo. So they got bucket raffles, they got food, they got music. It's a good time. It's all afternoon and into the evening tomorrow at the Cottage Grove Road VFW. The folks at Line Workers had their first fly tying night at Icky Sticky just last night. I was not able to make it, but I'm sure it was well attended and a bunch of fun. And they got a bunch more dates coming up. I'll try to keep you posted on. I can't read this poster very well, but the Stoughton VFW, or not VFW, Conservation Club, is doing a deer hunter sight-in at their facility there in Stoughton. And this is a great event. I've done it, and you can go there, take your guns. They got experts on hand that'll help you sight them in or answers any questions you might have. So that's basically every weekend right up until the opener for gun season, like is that the 22nd or something? Anyway, yeah, check it out. They do great work down there in Stoughton Conservation Club. And then we got a poster for Kevin's ice rods, and then a poster reminding folks about us being closed. So we can, I guess, get into the report. Weather-wise, we had a pretty typical November weather, early November weather this week. Highs in the 50s, some wind here and there. A little breezy today, but otherwise beautiful. Looks a little cooler tomorrow. Maybe some rain in the afternoon, and even colder on Sunday. But the forecast does say things should warm up again next week, so make sure you make some plans to get out and enjoy the weather while it lasts. The Mendota buoy, let's see where we're at. With turnover behind us, we're looking at consistent temps up and down the water column, and we're at just about 53 degrees, 52.9 or so all the way down. So water's coming down. I think that's 2 degrees cooler than we were last week. As far as water quality goes, with turnover again behind us, the water anywhere tends to just clear up amazingly, and Mendota is very clear right now. I've heard you can see down at least 10 feet, and the rest of the chain, all the other lakes down the chain are also running plenty clear right now. So not as clear as Mendota, but in great shape anyway. Generally speaking, the fish are definitely in their fall patterns now. Toothy fish have their fall feedbag on. They're looking for large meals to bulk up for winter. Well, all species are really, but other game fish like bass and walleye are moving shallow, especially at night for the walleyes. But daytime can also be good, especially on cloudy days, maybe with a little chop on the water. Panfish are starting to move off some of their main lake haunts and seeking the safety and security of weedy bays. With the shorter days and cooler temps, the weeds do continue to die back, but I hear they're actually still in pretty decent shape around the chain, even green in still in some areas. As those weed patches get smaller and smaller, though, that will concentrate the fish in whatever weeds remain. So as we move into fall, if you can find weeds, you'll likely find fish. Most shallow areas around town still have plenty of weeds, but most are now submerged. So shore fishing for panfish is getting better if you can find pockets in the weeds, or just keep your bait above the weeds. You should be able to find fish. If you're in a boat, though, fishing outside weed edges is good for the most species, but especially bluegills. And I'm hearing about gills on mid-lake humps, but they are definitely starting to move shallow. For any gills, you fish spikes and waxworms on an ice jig, or redworms on a little bit bigger jig is a pretty safe bet. The crappie bite around town sounds like it's starting to pick up in a few places. If you're targeting crappies, crappie minnows or small minnow-shaped plastics on a jig, under a bobber or right off the side of the boat, it's a pretty safe bet. The perch front remains quiet. I do hear about fish being picked up here and there, but nothing impressive and certainly not consistent. But weed lines are a good place to start for those fish, and I'd use redworms if I were out there. If you're looking for largemouth bass, you'll find them in the shallow weeds, but you're moving away from frogs now. Pretty much work lipless crankbaits, chatterbaits, paddle tails along the edges or right over the top of the weeds for your best chances for bass. You can toss those same lures for smallmouth, especially when they're up shallow early or later in the day. Use maybe slower presentations when they move deeper, 10 to 15 feet of water. Rocky areas are where you're going to find them. If you're working lures, though, you might as well toss out a bobber with a large minnow on it, because those fish are looking for an easy meal this time of year. All fish are looking for an easy meal this time of year, and meat is a great way to get them to bite. The walleye bite around town continues to improve. I am hearing about more and more action from shore-bound anglers, especially at night, tossing jerkbaits and paddle tails. If you're in a boat, though, and you can find weeds near rocky shoreline breaks, near shallow flats is where I'd start during the day. Otherwise, move up on those shallow flats during low light periods. Mid-lake humps do continue to be productive as well. Here again, though, whether you're working lures from shore or in a boat, you really should consider having a bobber out there with some kind of minnow on it to increase your chances. If it's pike you're after, they'll grab just about any lure you throw at them, and our large shiners or pike mix suckers are a great choice on the live bait side of things. Muskie action continues to improve. I know Noah Humfeld's been putting some nice fish in the boat for his clients. That action is only going to get better as water temps continue to fall, and like I said, we do have muskie suckers in stock. And stay tuned next week. If I have any muskie suckers left, I'm going to put them on sale just to get rid of them before we close. But of course, with inland trout season closed, that's a bummer till the first Saturday in January. But we do have the salmon run with the browns and steelhead moving in behind them, so we'll be talking about that, like I said, at the end of the report. Get into a little more details here. Cherokee is still a lot of weeds up there, but they are submerged, so topwater stuff would still be pretty effective, I would think, for pike and bass up there. Otherwise, like I said, keeping your lure above the weeds can get you some panfish, and the panfish are starting to move up into Cherokee, as noted by the folks that are fishing down here at 113. I'm hearing about good schools of bluegills and some occasional crappies coming through here at the bridges. And of course, you might catch a bass or a walleye or pike in there too, or maybe even a catfish. Catfish are still out in the main lake. They're going to start kind of congregating over winter. They tend to overwinter out here in this break, just kind of off Governor's Island or south of North Bay. So they're going to start hanging out there. But I am still hearing about catfish being caught many places around town, and cut bait seems to be working best for those fish. Otherwise, if you're looking for fish, just find a weed edge and you'll likely find all species of fish, but especially bluegills. Bluegills can also be found a little bit. I did still hear one report this week of a guy did well out on mid-lake humps. So Dunn's Bar, Brearley Bar is Second Point. The walleyes are out on those same bars too still, so you can get those fish mixed right in with the bluegills. But walleyes are also moving up shallow at night. So places like the Warner Park Breakwall, Tenney Park Breakwall, University Shoreline, Picnic Point, anywhere, really anywhere that you can fish from shore at night, you're probably going to run into some walleyes. But anywhere where there's city lights tends to kind of draw those fish in, so that also helps. But as far as pike go, there's a ton of them around all over the lake. They're annoying the bass anglers and the walleye anglers. People get cut off by the very hungry pike that are out there. I guess I didn't really mention bass. Largemouth are up shallow. Smallies are running shallow now too. Rocky areas are very good. Maple Bluff, Governor's Island, Fox Bluff, Picnic Point. Anywhere you can find rocks, you'll probably find smallies. But moving down the chain, I haven't heard much. Well, the Tenney Park breakwall has been producing a nice mixed bag of fish, and like I said, walleyes at night. Haven't heard much out of the river down here, but the walleyes should start moving in there. As we get into fall here, they like to hang out there. Also at the mouth of the Yahara River down here in Monona. Otherwise, for walleyes on Monona, the entire city shoreline can be great. Casting at night, again, the walleyes are, well, it's not the walleyes, it's the bait fish that are attracted to the lights, and then the walleyes follow them in. But anyway, great casting along the city shoreline for walleyes, especially at night. Bluegills, though, on the rest of the lake, you can find a weed edge. You'll likely find gills, but they are starting to move into shallow bays, so areas like Weechawak Bay, Turville Bay, and especially the very popular Monona Bay. Fish are starting to move in there. I hear about some small crappies being caught in the triangles, and bluegills starting to show up. Bass has been a little slow over there. I got a buddy that lives down there, and yeah, he's been struggling for bass, but they're in there for sure. And more fish are just going to move in as we get into fall here, or closer to winter, I should say. The bite off the wall over here hasn't been very great. I mean, I haven't heard much in the way of bluegills for a little bit. They're still getting a few crappies, but it's not like it had been all summer. I imagine that's because a lot of those fish are also starting to move into Monona Bay. Lake Wingra, ton of tiny bluegills, good bass fishing, and of course muskies in there too. And the weeds are starting to die back, so that's becoming more feasible. The area below the Wingra Dam, always a nice mixed bag of fish down there. Never know what you'll find. But yeah, I guess, muskies on Monona, very active this time of year, selling a bunch of muskie suckers to folks, and I've been hearing about some nice fish coming in the boat, so get out there and enjoy that if that's your thing. Otherwise, down on Upper Mud Lake, the dredge hole over here on Upper Mud has got, it sounds like a lot of good panfish, especially on the weed edge over there. Largemouth bass in the shallow flats all around the dredge hole, and as the weeds die back, that will concentrate those fish. Same thing on Wabisa. Weed flats up here in the north and south end. Going to hold bluegills. If you can find weeds, you'll find gills, you'll find bass. Of course, there's pike pretty much everywhere. Haven't heard much specifically about muskies on Wabisa, but the walleye bite sounds like it's been going good. Everywhere from Rockford Heights all the way down to Bible Camp, this whole kind of southeast or east shoreline, whatever you want to call it, has been good. And then, yeah, moving down to Kegonsa, I hear the walleye bite has been picking up here as we move into fall. Shallow areas around the state park can be good, like near these drop-offs over here. Still getting some bluegills on weed edges, and don't be afraid to move out off those weed edges and find those gills maybe a little bit deeper, 15 to even 20 feet, I've heard. Over on Lake Koshkonong, or the Rock River, I guess I should say. Haven't heard much out of Indian Ford. White bass and walleye on Lake Koshkonong's trolling's been good for folks. And then up the river in the Black Hawk Island area too. I haven't heard much specifically out of Fort Atkinson lately, but up at the Jefferson, there's Jefferson, yeah, the Jefferson Dam. I did still hear about some catfish up there, but there's white bass and walleye to be caught up there too. So also catfish up on Beaver Dam as usual, and the walleye bite up there should be picking up. I haven't heard specifics on that. Otherwise, Devil's Lake State Park sounds like the trout are starting to cruise shallow now, so that's always fun. Sit there, you can get them from shore with a bobber and a fathead minnow on there. Otherwise, the river is still fishing pretty well. You know, the walleye bite's great. If you can find deeper, the water is very low, so if you can find deeper water, that's likely where you're going to find fish. As always, outside bends, areas below bridges, areas below riffles are good. If you're looking for smallmouth bass, look for them chasing schools of shad around. The shad typically die off in the fall here, so they're taking advantage of that. But also wood along shorelines can be great for smallies. Otherwise, you know, dams. Just fish a dam. You're going to find a lot of stuff. I know they're still catching sturgeon at dams. There's walleye, sauger, everything that swims in the river hangs out at dams. So Lake Wisconsin, it sounds like the walleye and sauger bite over there has been picking up. Size is still a bit of an issue. I haven't heard anything about bass, but panfish do sound like they're starting to move into areas like the Grade and up here to Okie and stuff like that. So up the rest of the river, you know, same thing. Smallmouth walleyes, a little bit deeper water, you'll find fish. But yeah, Dells Dam, Castle Rock Dam, Petenwell Dam, all great spots to find fish. Over on the Mississippi River, folks are doing pretty well off the barge here at Genoa, the Clements barge, and I'm sure all the other barges up and down the river. But I do talk to quite a few folks that head over there, so it's a great time of year. It sounds like the perch is picking up and the walleyes. Otherwise, like I said at the top of the report, the salmon run continues up the tributaries, up and down the East Coast over here. You know, we were relying on the Root River report down here in Racine, but you know, the Milwaukee River, Menominee River, all the way up to Sauk Creek and Sheboygan River, all the way up the East Coast, you're going to find salmon swimming up the river. The kings are starting to slow down, but the cohos will remain through the month of November. And then, of course, you got steelhead and brown trout in there as well. So great time of year to be over there. We'll try to keep you posted on what we're hearing, and I know I'm going to be over there at least a couple times during our little break. But again, we've got all the stuff here to get you out on the water, floats and flies. And again, you want to tie your own, stop in the shop. We got fly tying stuff. So I guess that pretty much does it for the report. We don't have any inland trout to talk about, but soon, before you know it, it'll be the first Saturday in January, and we'll be talking about trout again. So yeah, I do want to thank you for tuning in. I want to encourage you to post your comments and catches below. Do feel free to call the shop at 608-241-4225 if you want us to expand on anything we talked about here in the report. Otherwise, yeah, I want to wish you luck out there. Good luck to all the hunters getting out this weekend. It's a big time. The rut's hot and heavy right now, so enjoy that, and we will talk to you next week. Thanks so much.